You know that moment, right? You're just about to pay, and then comes the offer for a service plan or an extended warranty? It feels like such a simple question, but it's really just the tip of this massive strategic iceberg. So today we're going to dive deep into the art of the add-on and see what the research says about this incredibly common and powerful sales technique.
Here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with that familiar question at the checkout counter. Then we'll really get into the nuts and bolts of the art of the add-on. After that, we'll look at the key difference between product and service add-ons, walk that tightrope between helpful and just plain pushy, and then finally, we'll connect it to the much bigger business picture. Ready? Let's go.
All right, first up, let's set a scene that I guarantee you have been in more times than you can possibly count.
You're right there at the counter. Wallet's in your hand, you're ready to make the purchase, and then you hear it. That little question. Doesn't matter if it's for a new phone, a car, or even a fancy coffee machine. This offer is pretty much a universal part of the shopping experience these days.
So what's really happening in this moment? I mean, this isn't some random off-the-cuff question, right? Of course not. It's a very carefully calculated sales strategy. And that simple offer, well, that's our doorway into a really fascinating business concept we're about to unpack.
So let's pull back the curtain and get into the core idea behind that question, what we're calling the art of the add-on. At its heart, add-on selling is actually pretty straightforward. It's basically offering a customer something extra that, complements what they're already buying. The idea is to add more value to their purchase and, let's be honest, increase the total amount of the sale.
Now, you might hear this strategy called a few different things. Some people call it suggestive selling, others a sales promotion strategy, or even companion selling. But no matter what you call it, it all boils down to the same fundamental idea: making the original purchase even better.
And hey, this is not some newfangled invention. This practice is a classic. It actually has its roots in the restaurant business. When a waiter suggests the perfect wine to go with your steak, or asks if you saved any room for dessert, yep, that is one of the oldest and still one of the most effective forms of add-on selling out there.
But here's the thing, not all add-ons are created equal. And this brings us to a really important distinction, the difference between adding on a physical product versus an intangible service. So on one side, you've got your product add-ons, actual tangible things. A classic example the sources give is offering shoe polish when somebody buys a new pair of leather boots. Makes sense. But on the other side, you have service add-ons. And this is exactly where our warranty example fits in. You can't hold it in your hand, but it gives you something else: peace of mind.
And while you see both types all the time, these service-based add-ons, the protection plans, the extended warranties, the service packages, they are an incredibly powerful and really popular version of this strategy, especially when you're buying something expensive.
But, and this is a big but, this strategy has to be handled with some serious care. There is such a fine line between being a helpful advisor and just being a pushy salesperson, and businesses have to walk that line very, very carefully.
As you can see, this can go one of two ways. When it's done right, it's a total win-win. The customer gets something genuinely useful, and the business boosts its revenue and customer satisfaction. But when it's done wrong, it's a lose-lose. The customer feels pressured, annoyed, and the business can seriously damage its reputation.
The source material really just nails the core challenge with this quote. Success isn't just about making an offer. It's about making that offer in a way that overcomes what they call consumer aversion. That feeling of irritation we all get when we feel like we're being aggressively sold something we don't want.
So how do they get around that? Well, the research points to a few key techniques. They might try being subtle, just explaining the value without any real pressure. Or they could assume the sale, kind of framing the add-on as just a natural part of the whole package. Or they can lean on a real classic motivator, offering a special discount on that service plan, but only if you buy it today.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a minute, because that simple warranty offer, it's not just about that one sale. It's a single move in a much, much larger business philosophy.
And that philosophy is called Customer Relationship Management, or CRM. And CRM is the whole game. It's not about one single transaction. It is a company-wide strategy focused on one thing: building and maintaining long-term, positive relationships with customers.
And this is a really crucial shift in mindset. The goal isn't just to squeeze as much profit as possible out of one sale. The real goal is to make you, the customer, happy enough to keep coming back again and again. It's all about playing the long game, focusing on retention over just immediate revenue. This slide maps out that entire journey perfectly. It all starts with a good customer retention process, and valuable add-ons are a part of that. That process builds customer loyalty, and that loyalty, over time, creates something called customer equity, which is basically the total lifetime value of a customer to a business.
So, a well-timed, genuinely helpful service plan does way more than just add a few bucks to a sale. It can increase your satisfaction, build that loyalty we talked about, it gives the company valuable data on what you actually need, and it opens the door for future business. It's just one small step in that much larger dance of building a real customer relationship.
Which brings us right back to that moment at the counter. The next time someone asks if you want to add that protection plan, you'll know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. So the question is, based on everything we've just talked about, is it a genuinely valuable offer designed to build a relationship? Or is it just a pushy upsell? The art is all in how they deliver it. And the answer? Well, that's up to you.